Big round of applause for Reverend Pat. Alright, next we're going to bring up ski, so put your hands together for ski. So I used to have a lot of time, and before I started running open mics, I had a lot of time to sit here and think about things. And I don't have that all the time. So I kind of like to do something, but I have no polish on it whatsoever. So if this turns out to suck, well, I'm sorry, it's just how it is. The sound of a light rail running into a truck it's not noise. It's not sound. It's a whole mesh of sounds. It's the screech of metal bouncing off of buildings, but it's psychic too. Nobody on the train saw anything in the truck. It was too far ahead. The first indication we had that something was wrong was the sound of the crash coming to us milliseconds before we were all tossed forward. I wasn't actually really hurt by the throw. I mean, it messed me around. I was bleeding over the eye a little, but when the medics came through and asked if I was okay, I said, yeah, I'm okay. And I got off the train and I walked. I walked for a couple blocks and then a couple more blocks, lost in my own thoughts, but really what I was doing was following that sound. A part of it had gotten hooked in my brain, and it pulled me like a fish through the rivers and the streets until I found myself in one of the parts of town, down underneath the overpasses where forgotten things go. And I went there because that's where I had to be. That's where the sound was. And I remember walking into a room and finding the sound trapped inside of that room. It was angels. It was every opera you'd ever imagined. It was an entire symphony built up, all stored in one room. And even better, it was a secret that no one else was allowed to. It told me it was a secret. And I sat there and I listened to the music. And I wept tears, or maybe it was blood, or maybe brain fluid from the concussion, but it was real. They found me. They tracked me down, and they found me, trying to get an accurate count of all of the people from the accident. And what they found was me in a room with some guy who'd been dead for, I don't know, a few weeks. At first, the police tried to blame it on me, but I had never even been aware there was a person in the room, alive, dead. All I could hear was the music. And as soon as the cops came in and chased the flies away, the music was gone. For the next few weeks in the hospital, I sat there, just empty. There was no music. The sound was gone. All of the things I had felt, I had been lifted from this plane and sent to something different, and now it was gone. And for weeks, I was suicidal. I couldn't think of anything else. There was nothing but this music that I could no longer touch, that I could no longer hear. But there was nothing really wrong with me, so they let me go. And I didn't want to go back to work, and I didn't want to go back to home. And so I wandered again, because I could hear the music. When my friends found me, I was at the dump. They pulled me away from there, kicking and screaming. And that's when I realized what it was. The music, the things I was hearing. These little fragments were trapped in the flies. It was the flies around the body. Something about that impact, something about the shattering sound of steel and metal in my own soul. It's in these flies. It's the sound of their wings. I know it annoys you, it annoys everybody. Nobody likes to come visit me here, but I tell you, what you hear as this hideous buzzing sound, I hear something different. In fact, I don't think the flies exist in your world. I think they're sounds. I think anytime two things impact each other with enough force, just like soot off of two rocks, flies come into existence. And yeah, they're annoying to you, but what I hear is fragments of music. And when I was in that room with that dead guy, I didn't hear flies. I heard music. I heard him. And so now I wonder, I'm sitting here in this filth, There's reason you won't come see me anymore, and I'm okay with it. I don't need you, because after you die, the flies will take your sound, and I will hear you, just as you are now. But